Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to be discussing Conjuring news. Shawn Levy's Star Wars has a writer attached to it now, Shrek 5, and then we're going to finish up with some surprising news about Inside Out 2. Let's go. All right, everybody, let's get into it. So today we're going to start off with some news about the new Conjuring movie. Uh, has not been titled yet. There was an unofficial title that came out last year. Warner Brothers has not officially announced any sort of title. What they have come out and said yesterday was that it is happening. It will be in 2025, and this will be the final movie in the official Conjuring series. Now, this may not be the last of the Conjuring verse movies. We're talking about Annabelle's, The Nuns, and any other spin-offs that they decide they want to do, including shows. They are saying this has been slated for September 5th, 2025 in IMAX. I will not be surprised if we get some more news about this. Personally, I am a fan of the Conjuring series, but I do feel each movie has been diminishing returns. Each movie is less interesting than the first. And with all the spin-offs, I've just never really been into anything besides the first 2 Conjuring movies. Maybe they'll be able to finish up strong. Who knows? We'll find out together in little to no time. That's a year away, and we'll be there before we know it. All right. The next piece of news I want to talk with you guys. There's been some Star Wars talk, which I mean, acolytes out, and everybody's talking about that. And mostly bad things, rightfully so. So, is Star Wars dead? Who knows? We've got the Rey movie coming down the pipeline, which nobody's really asked for, and at the rate they're treating Star Wars, probably not a lot of people will see, and it's probably gonna be a flop if I had to take a guess right now. That could change. But what I am interested in is Star Wars Shawn Levy movie. Shawn Levy is the director who's doing the new Deadpool Wolverine movie, which drops in 2 weeks. And he has quite a history of movies. So, can he save Star Wars? That's my quandary. Could he do it? Supposedly, Kathleen Kennedy came to him and said, "Hey, we want you to make a Star Wars movie in your fashion." Will they prevent him from doing exactly what he wants? It's hard to say. I mean, at this point, they might as well just let him make a movie he wants. If it's successful, great. If they can come up with some sort of like Deadpool-esque Star Wars movie, that'd be crazy. Could happen, but we'll see. But the news here, and that's kind of older news. The news is that his long-term writing partner, who's done a lot of movies with him, has come to join him. Uh, it is Jonathon Tropper. Now, Jonathon Tropper has kind of helped him with several projects. This is not their first pairing up. So maybe. And so I hadn't heard of Jonathan Tropper before today, so I had to look him up. And he has done more shows than movies, but he wrote and created a lot of the HBO show Warrior, which was highly praised and received. He wrote C, which is a Apple TV starring Jason Momoa, which was well received. The Adam Project, another well-received movie. But then if we start going in his history, Banshee was kind of one of those movies that kind of skated by, but I've heard great things. I've been told to watch the show over and over again, and it's just one of those shows I haven't gotten around to yet. But it seems like he has some pretty good writing chops. If he's able to do continual shows with multiple seasons, maybe just maybe he can actually do a Star Wars movie that will help save Star Wars. Who knows when this movie will actually come out? Who knows if this will actually happen? This could be one of those many projects that Star Wars is gonna cancel. We'll find out sooner or later. I'm sure there'll be more news. I think they're trying to slowly try to save the brand somehow, even though they let the Acolyte come out, and they're still trying to push forward with the Rey movie. They have canned a bunch of other things, saying they weren't good. So, we shall see. Next, it has been officially announced Shrek 5 is happening. Not only so DreamWorks finally released a tweet saying it's happening. It was kind of leaked a couple weeks ago by Eddie Murphy, I think or maybe it was Mike Myers. It was one of the two came out and it was like, oh yeah, we've already been, I've already recorded some of my voicing for it. But we now officially have the announcement. It's set to come out in July 2026 with the original returning cast. So we're gonna have the same voice actors, even though Shrek 4, which was not that well received, came out oh, 8 years ago, 6 or 8 years ago, something like that. So we'll see. Depending, they haven't announced who the writing staff is or the director or anything like that. They've just said it's coming. Get prepared. I love the Shrek movies. I've got a 2-year-old and he loves the Shrek movies, and I've seen them obscene amount of times currently. And the first two are definitely just great movies, and 3 and 4 are really a departure from the first two. Now, they all have different writers. There's a couple writers that kind of mingle between the movies, but not enough. And that's why we see such uh, the why 3 and 4 didn't do well. So, I'll be very curious to see who the writers are going to be and also what they're planning to do for a story. It's been long enough that they could do just about anything they wanted. 4 ended with him just being like, "Man, I wanna be a family man." So, what are we gonna get for this new movie? Do you guys have any suggestions or any thoughts on this? My personal hope is that we kind of get a more teenager kids. So, Shrek ends with having several kids, and I'm hoping we'll see them kind of all as teenagers and that they are being rebellious and going and doing their own ogre thing, and Shrek and Donkey and Fiona decide that they have to go after them and help them and kind of do this big friendly, family-esque movie. And then they've also kind of announced that there's a potential for a donkey movie, or yeah, here it is. Murphy let it slip in June that he's already begun voice recording for a donkey spin-off movie. With my movie idea, what they could do is this donkey doesn't know where his kids are because they're all dragons and they've flown the coop. And what they could do is that Donkey has to go out after them. And he's like, "You know what? I wanna go find my kids." And Donkey has his own adventure. It would be a great way to tie into a series, make it super family friendly, and kinda go from there. That's personally where I hope this goes. Alright, last bit of news to note. I found this surprising. Inside Out 2 has become Pixar's top grossing movie of all time globally, excluding, um, inflation. It has just recently bypassed The Incredibles 2, and it hasn't even opened everywhere internationally yet. The article goes on to talk about how it has not come out in Japan yet, and so it is just juggernauting along, which is good because I mean I'm glad there's still good kids movies out there. I've not seen this movie yet. It was not. I don't think it's kind of age appropriate for my 2-year-old, and so we're not going to see it in theaters. But it still has some big movies to pass. It has to bypass Frozen, which is the number 3 movie. It has to bypass uh, Super Mario Brothers, and then it hops like catch up with Frozen 2. If it can reach those movies, it will become the highest grossing animated movie, which is pretty wild. I thought I didn't think it was going to do this. I think a lot of people were concerned with how Disney has been treating their properties and that they were going to do some things and make it woke or make it not palatable for a lot of people. But they seem to have done a good job considering how well it's doing for them. And so I think this is really going to hype up the sequel train. And as they've already kind of announced, and we've talked about in previous news segments, that they're just still just going to keep making sequels. Because why make originals when you can make sequels to properties that already are existing and make you millions and billions of dollars, in the case for this movie? So I'm sure in the next couple weeks, we'll end up seeing more news about Inside Out 2 bypassing the other movies. I just feel like at its current rate of increase, that's where that's going to go. All right, everybody. So that is it for today's quick and dirty news segments. If you haven't, please like, subscribe, comment, just follow along. We come in every day with new news. And if you haven't, go to criticallist.com, sign up, start leaving reviews, review movies, review your favorite movies, review your least favorite movies. Do whatever you want, whatever drives you when it comes to movies and shows. And as always, we'll be back tomorrow with another new segment. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Peace out.